Good morning, Salamanca. Good morning, sustainability. Good morning, peace. Good morning, dear PCT World Congress 23 guests. Hope you enjoyed yesterday. I also appreciated the coffee break, the dinner cocktail, and the dance gala. Yesterday, we were honored with the presence of provincial and local governments in Salamanca and their support to significant developments in Salamanca province and elsewhere. Now that we know PCT Salamanca is most welcome with politicians' blessings, we still need two major contributions for the project to happen. One is industry leaders who plan and deliver great projects, and two is investors who fund profitable projects in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Guess what? This is the plan for today. We will start with industry leaders in a couple of critical areas. First area, food and water security, air quality. Without oxygen, death comes after minutes. Without water and food, death comes after days or weeks at best. Although this is an issue for part of humanity, air pollution, lack of water, and low food quality are becoming a concern for all generations all over the world. We'd better manage to solve these issues by design in smart cities. Second area is energy, and energy is vital to preserve the progress that humanity reached, especially in the last 2 centuries. While our energy needs are growing with demography, our energy consumption is heavily challenging our planet. We cannot keep enjoying life blindly while burning our home. We need both clean energy generation and smart energy consumption in our cities. Innovative industry leaders will help us with the how. Once we have a clear understanding of the how, then we need the enabler, finance, and our special guest speakers will share with us their willing to finance smart cities developments. So let's start with the first session, food and water security, air quality. It is my honor and pleasure to invite on stage Ms. Deborah Walliser, CEO at God Produce. She is also PCT World Advisory Board member. It is my honor to invite my friend, Mr. José Luis Bustos Jiménez. He is CEO at Brio Agro Technologies. Great pleasure to invite on stage Mrs. Almudena Justo, Business Development Manager at Suez Air Quality and Climate Spain. And I'm honored to invite on stage Mr. David Castaño Sequeros, former member of the Parliament of Castilla y León. Welcome, dear guest speakers, to this panel. Your intervention being recorded, I'm inviting each of you to present yourself in a couple of minutes before sharing with us what you want to share. Let's start with Ms. Deborah Walliser, CEO at God Produce. Would you please present yourself to the audience in a couple of minutes and take 10 minutes of what you want to share with us about the impact of controlled environment agriculture in local communities?
Okay, is it a hard 10 minutes? Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I heard one good morning. The rest of you had bad mornings, maybe, or late night. Thank you for rolling out of bed and being here. I like the coffee here. It's been quite an adventure. My company specializes in hydroponic environments, controlled environments. Hydroponics is one part of that. It just means that we don't grow in soil. We specialize in desert and arid climates, so I've had the privilege of building in 10 countries around the world. And this looks like a nice place to build, maybe in the summertime. But I want to just talk a little bit about hydroponics and give you the history. And if it's too much history, then you can just pull me off stage. This morning's topic delves into the impact of controlled environment agriculture in local communities. Specifically, we'll look at the past, present, and future of food production and how that plays a role in the cities of tomorrow. There are people in this room that probably have more experience building smart cities than I. My role is only to talk about food. So before coming, I Googled the definition of smart cities, because Google knows everything. And if it's in there, then that's the way it is. This is what I found. A smart, sustainable city is an innovative city that uses information and communication technology to improve the quality of life. It's pretty simple, but it doesn't give us a guideline in how we do that. And I think one way we do that is to improve our food. By improving our food, we have a trickle-down effect by improving our land and water use. First, let's ask the question, what is controlled environment agriculture? According to New York State education program, CEA is a combination of technology-oriented engineering. It's plant science and computer management that helps us control the environment, ambient temperatures, and root zone of plants. You will often hear the term CEA used in conjunction with hydroponics. The difference is one controls the roots and one controls the roots and shoot zone. Hydroponic systems are most often used in greenhouses, though not always. Sometimes they can be used outside. Controlled environment agriculture is a fast-developing field designed to provide secure, healthy, and cost-effective year-round production of premium, high-value crops. They've traditionally been high-value crops because the cost to set these up can sometimes be cost-prohibitive, but that doesn't have to be the case. New technology has allowed us to make some changes there. To date, although there is much interest and enthusiasm for CEA, it is still not considered a mainstream technique for supplying the bulk of food products. And the reason is it's been based in kind of monoculture crops. Mostly you see tomatoes, peppers, some small fruits and strawberries in hydroponics. I think anybody who's eaten a tomato, the tomatoes probably come out of some type of greenhouse. And nobody's really pushed the envelope into what we can grow in hydroponics. We've pushed the envelope. We've grown probably over 500 species, different varieties of crops, and can grow a full range of protein, grain, and fruits and vegetables. The techniques may change in the future as alternatives become more efficient and cost-effective. A number of expensive commercial forays into food production were initially greeted with much enthusiasm, but were also met with scheduling and production problems as well as financial difficulties. There are some really large investments in North America and some other places in the world that went belly up, not once, but twice, because of the mindset that even if we grow inside a greenhouse, it still must be a monoculture. And we're trying to shift the mindset on that and say if you're going to grow for a smart city, you must be able to grow pretty much everything that that city needs. There's 4 main problems prohibiting hydroponics and CEA from going mainstream. According to an AutoGrow 2020 census, 49% of operators have no experience. So you have people running these things that don't know what they're doing. They're also limited to certain crops. 77% of CEA grow microgreens and salad greens. And if we want to use that for a smart city, it's pretty much got to be a vegan smart city that way. 73% of people who've built greenhouses say they use the wrong technology and would change it if they could afford it. And they're expensive. In many arid climates, you have to use desal water or some other supplemental energy, which costs a lot. Currently, CEA farms are the most expensive per acre on Earth. we can change that. We've got the technology and answers today. The promise, however, of large-scale food production with high-tech, energy-efficient, eco-friendly growing methods still exist and will likely become more viable in the future. So how did we get here? Why did we even think about hydroponics? Hydroponics has been around for over 1,500 years and really started in regions that had flood and drought cycles. So when it flooded, they collected the water, they grew plants floating in mats on top of the water, and that way when there was a drought, they still had water for their plants. Very simple innovation, and then for 1,500 years, basically nothing happened. Very small steps have been made to try and change that, and it's only been in the last 70 years it has become more commercially viable. In the 1600s and 1700s, with glass coming about and some other things, that was the main material used for greenhouses, although it is expensive. Developers of new technology kept profitability in mind. So because of the high CapEx and usually high OpEx, the crops were limited to only special out-of-season crops that they could charge a premium for. And if you're growing for a smart city, you can't charge your inhabitants a premium all the time. So we've got to change that. The development of hydroponics has not been rapid. In the US, interest began to develop in possible use of just nutrient solutions. Nutrient solutions mean just kind of fertilizer and water, amino acids and water. Sometimes they use a substrate like rock wool or coca coir or sand or perlite, but plants don't actually require a substrate. They don't actually require soil. They just need water, oxygen, and amino acids. So for the next 70, 80 years in the US, they've been working on it. Researchers have been working on it. Private industry has worked on it from one angle. For the last 20 years, we've worked on it from a different angle. My background is in plant physiology. We built the first systems for the International Space Station, and from that kind of developed a mindset that if you can grow this in space, surely you can grow it in Africa or Salamanca. Hydroponic systems are categorized in kind of two big categories, either open or closed. One means you keep the water, one means you recycle the water to something else. If you're going to use this in a smart city, there's a number of ways to reuse that water for outdoor crops, trees, and recreational areas, so there's no waste. The principal advantages of hydroponics include high density, maximum crop yield, crop production, where no soil exists. This is our desert arid climates. A virtual indifference to ambient temperatures and seasonality, so you can grow all year. And you don't use soil. A number of crops have been genetically modified to withstand soil-borne disease. If you don't use soil, it becomes a moot point. So you can go back to the natural heirloom products. Capital costs have been exceptionally high, and that has come down with new innovations. So let's look at the demands of societies today. There's a quote from John Rake, the Foundation for Food and Ag Research. He says, "With current production methods, I don't think it's possible for a city to feed itself and supply all the diverse fruits and vegetables a consumer wants. Our dietary patterns are just not based on one growing season." And he's right. Every time you go to the grocery store, you want something different. If you had one greenhouse in your smart city and you only grew tomatoes or only grow lettuce, you would be quite bored with living there and eating there. So we've got to crack the code into variety. Even before COVID-19, the world faced a growing food security crisis, and the pandemic has pushed millions into more hunger. In 2019, around a quarter of the world population were experiencing moderate or food insecurity. In 2020, this went up to 1 in 3. So we've got, not just for our smart cities, but for communities everywhere, people who are already established, we've got to change the way that we grow, eat, and distribute food. I'm just going to run through a little example with the time we have left. This is an example city. So this is an example of a city of about 500,000. This could be a new smart city. It could be an existing community. So if you look at the food needs for 500,000 people, according to the World Health Organization, you would need 142 pounds of fruit per person per year. You would need 200 pounds of protein or meat per person per year. And you would need 362 kilos of grain per person per year. Grain is barley, corn, rice, wheat. So for a city of 500,000, let's talk about the land use. To grow your 142 pounds of fruit and veggies per person, you would have to grow 32.2 million pounds of fruit and veggies. To do that, it would take you 20.8 billion liters of water a year. To produce your protein, it would take 679 billion liters of water a year. To produce your grain, it would take 297 billion liters of water a year. So if we look at a world that doesn't actually have an ample supply of fresh water, that is dwindling, we need to re-look at these numbers. Let's look at land use. For the fruit and veggies for that 500,000, it would take 18,400 hectares of land. For our protein, if you did beef, it would take 1.6 million hectares of land. If you chose chicken as your protein source, it would take 54,000 hectares of land. Your grain would need 44,000 hectares of land. So that's over 117,000 hectares of land just for that one city, and almost 1 trillion liters of water a year. Do we have that for every smart city? We don't have that around Salamanca. I don't think we have that around most cities. So what can we do differently? We can use controlled environment ag. If we put all that crop and protein source into controlled environment agriculture, it would only take us 50 hectares of land. So that's a huge savings. We would save 960 billion liters of water a year. So this just goes to show you that CEA needs to be a core of any smart city and most of our existing cities today. There's also some alternatives to protein, seeing as how they take the most water and land use. So in 4.5 ounces of beef or chicken, you get about 20 grams of protein. If you use an alternative protein source, like snails, they're 18 grams of protein for the same. And if we were to provide snail as a protein source for that city, it would only take us about 15 hectares of land instead of 117,000. So these are just some alternatives and some examples of how CEA can be the core foundation and stability of a smart, sustainable city. Thank you very much. Of course.
Thank you very much, Deborah. We are, sorry. Yeah, Ms. Deborah Walliser, you have a second intervention in the session of Thursday afternoon about projects in Africa, and especially in Namibia. You will present your project of hydroponic farming, Peace Village in Namibia, in partnership with Peace City Work. May I invite Mr. John Mavrak and Dr. Riyad Thukabri on stage, and the three of you to sign the related MOU.
Please,
Beautifully done. Thank you very much.
Come to the front for the photo. Congratulations, God Produce and PCT World. Thank you very much. Now let's move from rural areas to urban areas with smart irrigation and the green spaces of smart cities. Mr. José Luis Bustos Jiménez, CEO at Brio Agrotechnologies. The floor is yours.
Okay. Buenos días. Good morning, everyone. I have a presentation, please, if you can charge it. I'm the CEO of Brio Agro, a Spanish startup of smart irrigation. I can put it? Okay, that's it. We start working mainly in farms, but also after to develop our business in farms, we develop a second, a second line is what we are working, we're talking to you today. It's a smart irrigation in green spaces of smart cities. It's a second line, we call it Smart Aqua. We are here because we won in 2020 first prize in World Business Angel Investment Forum, and they give our first invest to develop our first steps. And in this edition, in October last year, October 2022, we met in Antalya, Turkey, the team organizers of this Peace City World. Thank you very much, John and Munir, to invite us to Salamanca. It's a pleasure to be Spanish and speaking in our country. Then, what we do, climate change is changing, increasingly changing what happened with water scarcities. There is many countries with global water scarcity, as you can see in the image with the red and yellow one areas. And knowing that 80% of the available water consumption is for agriculture, most farmers still use observation to decide irrigation. Brio Agro have developed a system that irrigates just when the crop needs, achieving significant savings, improving production, resistance, and quality of the crop. Using this technology, we know when irrigate is this point of the graphic, how much irrigate is this line in liters or hours or minutes, and when irrigate more or less. And also, all this connecting to the watering equipment. We save water. Our results is we have savings around 20 and 50%, depending on the crop and the climate. And in addition to this, in tests at the University of Navarra, our lettuce reached 10 centimeters more in diameter, even using less water. This helped us to win first prize in Water Scarcity Challenge in Europe in 2020. When you save water, you also save energy for pumping. It's linear. If you save 30% of water, you also save 30% of energy for this pumping. Also, you save fertilizer, phytosanitaries, and labor dedicated to irrigation. That's it. It's better for the economy. It's savings for the economy of the farmers. Also, we improve the sustainable indicators. We reach 10 of the 17 global goals, and the magazine Food Tech 500, they highlight of Brio Agro in climate change, clean water and sanitation, and responsible production and consumption. Then how do we do it? First, using different proven technologies that are sending data at real time to the internet. Second, interpreting all this data that we collect and to give value to this, because we mix information of sensors, of satellite information, and meteorological data, and we give value to this. Third, we manage this information. The farmer receives this information from his mobile or PC, and he can manage what he needs. And also, Briagro from his headquarters can manage this information to help him to, when he has a doubt or to give him support. And fourth, action. We start these three first steps in our early ages, and we advise to the farmers, and they told us, oh, why you don't irrigate better than tell me when I have to irrigate them? Then we make another development to connect to 95% of the irrigation controllers in the world. Then we can control everything and do smart irrigation wherever farm in the world. And our different advantages, our secret sauce, like we said, is we are expert in soil. We have a soil moisture calibration algorithm developed with two universities of Spain and our technology and our practice. And this algorithm gives you the humidity on the soil depending of the crop, of the soil, and on the microclimate. This is the main important information that we collect, the humidity of the soil, and we put it next to the roots. And here you can see a data logger. The sensor is connected to a data logger to send information to the cloud. It's solar panel everywhere, and it's put in between the vegetation. And a very important thing, we combine what happened in one point, for example, sector 5, and we extrapolate what happened in one point to the rest of the farm using satellite photographs interpreted. Thanks to this, FAO and the International Telecommunication Union award us in agricultural and innovation systems and sustainable agriculture. That's it. I explain you what we do in agriculture so quickly. When we move this, our knowledge to parks and gardens, it's easy for us because it's very complex agriculture. Grass and some plants are not as complex as crops. Okay? What we do, the main important thing is that a park is public. Then we have to protect the data loggers and have to be underground. While in farms, all the data loggers are in surface. Okay? Then this is the main difference. We have to work hardly with this because we need communications to do that, communication that works underground. But the main difference, farms, we work on surface, and parks underground. Then our scheme of work is practically the same, with this only difference. Briagro works with more than 40 different crops, and we have our technology is stand in more than 500 farms in the world. And in parks and gardens, our facilities are in Seville, in Parque de los Príncipes, in Badajoz, in Environmental Education Center, sorry, and in Pamplona, in the north, in Parque Huelca del Castillo. Also, we work with APTE, is the Association of Science of Technology Parks in Spain. The parks of these technological parks are irrigated with our technology. And also singular trees in the Council of Vélez Málaga. And now in 2023, we are working with Madrid Futuro. It's a new project from Madrid. And we are working on it thanks to the BBVA Bank Open Innovation. Then to understand what we do in parks, that's it. This is a sensor, data logger, to the depth of the roots before to cover it. Here, satellite information, as I showed you before, to compare what happened in one place to another. We measure, obviously, the water consumption, measuring all the water meters, and irrigation controlling. In one hand, dragging on the install and controlling, and on the other hand, with new installations, with more premium installations with smart controllers. At the end, what we are doing in these councils, we are working with an API to give all the data to their platform to connect with them, because we are very focused in irrigation, not in all the things that we have in a smart city. And lastly, the last areas where we are working now is urban gardens, that are like little farms in many cities here in Spain. Also, rare and legendary trees this is a big tree with so old, and also we monitoring this with sensors and with satellite information. And with new tree plantings, I hear here is Bosquia that are doing that. We are collaborating with companies like Bosquia and quite similar to help them to monitoring the new planting. Everything supported with a team with expertise in agronomy and landscaping, and computing and telecommunications, and markets and customer service. Now we are present in Europe, in Portugal, Italy, and Spain, and America in Ecuador and Mexico, and we are seeking country directors for global expansion. This is a good opportunity. Our device can work in any country in the world, but we are especially interested in US, Chile, Brazil, Morocco, and Turkey, but wherever country is well received. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, José Luis. That was great. With Deborah, you are changing our lives. One of the things that I noticed on my smartphone when I arrived to Salamanca was the quality of air is very good. I mean, of course, I live in Paris, and I'm coming in Paris, and I'm used to the cursor being to the middle or to the right, in the red zone. And here it is closer to the blue, to the left. So, yeah, I'm more than ever interested in air quality and environmental health in cities. Mrs. Almudena Justo, Business Development Manager at Suez Air Quality and Climate in Spain. Would you please present yourself to the audience and share with us your thoughts about air quality and environmental health?
Thank you.
Your presentation is on screen.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good morning, everybody. First of all, thanks to Salamanca City Council and to Peace City for the invitation to participate in this event. Well, first, I would like to ask a question for you. So, do you know how many people die every year due to air contamination? According to Spanish Pneumology Association, around 10,000 people die every year due to atmospheric contamination, while 1,700 die due to car-to-traffic accidents. So these figures give us an insight on the impact of air quality in human health. In Suez, we work to improve human health, to improve well-being, thanks to waste, water, and air quality treatment and solutions. In particular, in my business unit, in air quality business unit, we work in more than 1,000 projects per year to improve air quality, treating more than 5 million cubic meters per hour around the world in more than 25 countries around the world. Here in Spain, we are based in Alicante, Madrid, Barcelona, and A Coruña. So we work in monitoring, modeling, and gas treatment and air emissions treatment, including also the biogas pretreatment and upgrading to obtain biomethane. So what is our challenge? What is our challenge regarding smart cities? We help cities, we help municipalities to improve air quality following the Green City Accord to fulfill the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So here you are, a brief resume of our services. We work from consulting to diagnose and mitigation. We help municipalities in urban planning to improve air quality. We also help municipalities to diagnose light and noise pollution, to diagnose heat islands, also in air inventories, of course, in low emission zones. This is regarding the outdoor air quality. We also work to improve indoor air quality, and we work in mitigation solutions, mainly the implementation of low emission zones and also through nature-based solutions. Of course, we have other services more complex for the industry. So this way we address several impact indicators directly connected with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So our technologies, how we do that? We do that thanks to our platform Vision 360, where we have a forecast and nowcasting of the air quality, and we couple different technologies, in particular modeling, air quality modeling, also meteorological modeling, the city 3D, and satellite data management, satellite images, and of course the technologies connected with nature-based solutions and renewable green energy regarding the biogas and biomethane. In particular, for low emission zones, as you know, here in Spain it is mandatory for municipalities that have more than 50,000 inhabitants. It is mandatory to implement low emission zones now in this year 2023. And we are working on that together with the so-called integrator companies in charge of traffic management. So what we do here is to evaluate the different scenarios for the low emission zone. I mean, we plan different low emission zones as scenarios based on traffic modeling, and then what we do is to analyze, before implementing the scenario, to analyze the impact on air quality thanks to the modeling work. So we couple traffic modeling, also other emissions, not just from the traffic, but also other emissions in the city, from houses, from the surrounding industry, and so on. Take into account that traffic emissions could be around 50 or 60%. So depending on the city, it is not the air quality. It is not just a matter of traffic. It is a matter of other emissions in the city and close to the city. So here we couple these emissions inventories, the emissions from the traffic, with the air quality modeling, the meteorological modeling, also taking into account the orography to see the impact on air quality. Then we implement this low emission zone based on this previous work, and we work to make real-time decisions on traffic according to the air quality forecast. In particular, for Spanish municipalities, at the end of 2022, a new Royal Decree has been published, Royal Decree 1052, that regulates low emission zones. And I just want to give you 4 key points of this new regulation. It is necessary to have a project to implement the low emission zone. The low emission zone have to improve air quality, so low emission zones, it is not just a matter of traffic, it is a matter of air quality. So we have to improve this air quality in comparison to the initial situation. We have to fulfill the limits established in Royal Decree 102 and to be closer to the WHO figures. And regarding the air quality monitoring and follow-up, we have to do that according to this Royal Decree 102 and following the established criteria for data collection, uncertainty, and other issues, what means not just air quality monitoring, but also air quality modeling. So this is relevant because it is mandatory now according with this new regulation launched at the end of 2022. So we usually work on that, in particular Royal Decree 102, we usually work on that with the industry. We also work on that now with several cities, not just in Spain, but other cities around the world. Here in Spain, we are working with A Coruña, Valencia, Pinto, Rivas, and other municipalities to help them to improve their air quality. So thank you very much. Here you are my contact details in case you have any doubt. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Almudena. That was great. You are one of the rare French companies based in Spain and speaking in English. That's great. Yeah, Mr. David Castaño Sequeros, you are a former member of the Parliament of Castilla y León. What are your thoughts about food and water security, air quality? Do you want to speak from there or from here? Oh, okay, good. Please.
Lo primero es dar las gracias a la organización. La verdad es que estoy muy orgulloso de poder formar parte de esta ponencia sobre la seguridad alimentaria, el clima, el aire, etc. Yo creo que a raíz de la pandemia del COVID que asoló la humanidad, yo creo que la población en general ha tomado conciencia de la importancia del sector agrario, de la industria agroalimentaria. Y esto es importante porque tal es la evolución, y aquí se ha hablado de ello, del futuro de los alimentos en una población que va creciendo, que va a crecer mucho más de lo que ahora mismo somos, y además con problemas de sostenibilidad ambiental. Yo vengo a hablarles a ustedes de lo que hace o de cómo se impulsan las políticas, cómo se alinean con estos objetivos de la Agenda 2030, del cumplimiento de los acuerdos climáticos, etc. En primer lugar, y aquí se ha hablado al respecto, tanto el señor Bustos como la señora Justo, sobre, entre otras cosas, la Agenda 2030, etcétera, etcétera, cómo cumplimos con la sostenibilidad. Esta comunidad autónoma, Castilla y León, esta región, fue la primera comunidad, la primera región de España que impulsó una estrategia en bioeconomía circular, por varios motivos. Uno que es evidente, por hacer más sostenible nuestra industria, nuestro sector agroalimentario, y la segunda, y no menos importante, porque todo tiene que ser rentable, porque estamos absolutamente convencidos de que la sostenibilidad es una ventaja competitiva, que una vez que se implementan los procesos, se incrementa la productividad, que una vez que se implementan los procesos, bajan los costes, de tal manera que no solo podemos tener un liderazgo en costes, sino que además podemos ofrecer un producto diferenciado. En esta estrategia de bioeconomía circular había muchas líneas. Una de ellas era sobre el tema de los residuos de la industria, sobre todo de la industria cárnica, que se ha hablado mucho de ello porque genera muchas tensiones en la población. Para nosotros esos residuos, con esta estrategia dejó de ser un residuo para ser parte de materia prima para generar nuevos abonos y también, muy importante, para generar electricidad. Se ha hablado también de la sostenibilidad del agua. En Castilla y León se viene invirtiendo mucho dinero, muchas partidas presupuestarias en mejorar nuestros regadíos, de tal manera que ahora somos muchísimo más eficientes que hace 10 años, instalando sistemas de regadíos que están en países, continentes que son pioneros como Australia y que han hecho que en Castilla y León, con menos agua, producimos más. Se ha hablado también, y esto es muy importante, de la agricultura 4.0, porque muchas veces hablamos de la industria 4.0, de la transformación digital, y esto parece ajeno al sector agrario. Todo lo contrario. Una de las mayores palancas de crecimiento y que va a generar puestos de trabajo y valor añadido, porque esta industria, no olviden que se localiza y que es muy difícil de deslocalizar en aquel sitio donde está la materia prima. Es la agricultura 4.0 y su contacto con, pues con todos los satélites, los wearables, tractores con sistemas inteligentes, etcétera, etcétera, que no solo hace que tus cultivos sean mucho más eficientes en cuanto a sostenibilidad ambiental, sino que ahorras muchísimo en costes. Esto es importantísimo, es una palanca de crecimiento y la Junta de Castilla y León y el Parlamento, en las Cortes de Castilla y León, siempre hemos sido muy conscientes de, de este futuro digital que no es ajeno a la agricultura y que además tiene una gran importancia. También hemos puesto, y fuimos también los primeros en darnos cuenta de que la cadena de valor, que es todos los procesos, en este caso de la agricultura, hasta que se determina, hasta que llega el valor añadido tanto a la empresa como al cliente, estaba desajustada. Por eso, con esa conciencia, pusimos en marcha la primera dirección general en cadena de valor. Ahora esto está muy de moda en España, pero nosotros ya lo pusimos en marcha. Se puso en marcha hace 4 años, casi 4 años, sí. La primera dirección general en cadena alimentaria, para que todos los eslabones de la cadena alimentaria tuvieran un desarrollo por lo menos lo más preciso posible. Esto podría hablarse de justicia, ¿no?, de lo que es los eslabones o la protección de los eslabones más débiles, que en este caso pues sería el ganadero o el agricultor. Pero no solo es eso, sino que también al implantar bien los procesos en cada eslabón generamos eficiencia y, por lo tanto, como dije antes, bajamos costes, hacemos que las explotaciones estén bien dimensionadas, generamos también y pusimos en marcha un observatorio de precios de tal manera que cualquier ganadero o cualquier persona que estuviera interesada puede acceder a la página de la Junta de Castilla y León y saber cuáles son los costes medios de cualquier tipo de explotación y saber si su explotación es rentable. Bajamos el poder de mercado de los distribuidores en el sentido de que acumulamos, o esto alineado con las cooperativas, acumulamos oferta y defendemos mejor los precios y, por lo tanto, y esto ya para concluir sobre la cadena de valor, que también es importantísimo, reducimos tensiones. Porque una industria, y ayer se habló de esto también, una industria o empresas, empresarios, gente que quiera invertir, cuando tiene seguridad jurídica, cuando tienes seguridad de que las cosas no van a cambiar, de que si instalas un determinado negocio o te localizas en una determinada región o en una determinada provincia como Salamanca, las cosas no van a cambiar y desde el Ejecutivo, de los poderes legislativos y ejecutivos se te va a respetar, eso es una palanca de crecimiento también. Y por último, me gustaría hablar también de una de las palancas de crecimiento y que necesita mucha inversión, que necesita tanto Castilla y León como Salamanca, que es la exportación de productos cárnicos, sobre todo a países de Oriente Medio. Consciente de ello, hace unos 4 años, la Junta de Castilla y León, impulsada por las Cortes de Castilla y León, donde yo era parlamentario, pusimos en marcha o encargamos un estudio sobre nuestra capacidad de exportar a Oriente Medio, en concreto carne congelada de vacuno, ovino y caprino. Nuestra sorpresa negativa y positiva es que en la mayoría de los años nuestra exportación hacia países de Oriente Medio era cero. Cero. En una comunidad que es líder en el sector cárnico de ternera y la segunda en ovino, y en una provincia como Salamanca, que es la número 1 en cabezas de ganado vacuno, tanto en España como de las primeras o de las más importantes de toda Europa. Pero, sin embargo, sí que exportamos a países de Oriente Medio carne, pero lo hacemos de una forma viva, es decir, transporte vivo. Cargamos animales en puertos como Cartagena y llevamos esos animales vivos pues, a países como Turquía, Líbano, etcétera, Egipto, etcétera. Esto genera muchísima tensión, no solo con el bienestar animal, que es de lo más importante, sino que también los costes se disparan porque gran parte de esos animales mueren en el transporte marítimo y si surge alguna enfermedad, ningún puerto quiere asumir que ese barco termina anclando en su puerto por los problemas sanitarios y la zoonosis, que yo creo que ustedes saben de la importancia después del COVID, de la importancia de controlar la zoonosis. La certificación halal, la religión, la cultura. Puede parecer en un primer momento, y sobre todo cuando no se trabaja, una barrera de entrada importantísimo. Pero una vez que se conoce, una vez que se entiende, es una gran aliada. Nosotros, desde Salamanca, necesitamos ayuda para poder implantar esos procesos, que no son complicados, que hay que entenderlos, y convertirnos en la pequeña Australia de la exportación de ternera, de ovino y de caprino, porque lo tenemos, porque tenemos los animales, porque tenemos el saber hacer y tenemos el saber cómo. Por lo tanto, yo creo y considero que Salamanca, que es la líder, como he dicho antes, en cabaña de ganado bovino, vacuno y ovino, necesita gente interesada, gente que invierta y gente que se crea que esto, desde luego, es crecimiento, que genera puestos de trabajo y genera riqueza tanto en los países importadores, porque Oriente Medio importa cerca de un 60% de toda la ternera que consume, que no es poco, y que para Salamanca, desde luego, y para todo el sector agroganadero vendría muy bien. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, guest speakers. Before going to a break, I would like, we have a small change in the program. Before going to the break, I would like to invite Sheikh Saddam Al-Atwani, Ambassador of Peace and Humanity at the Supreme Council for the Arab-African Economy, who would speak about opening investment prospects in the Republic of Iraq after his 3-minute video. Can we launch the video of Mr. Atwani?
The speaker, huh? Assalamu alaikum jami'an. I can't speak English, but I will talk the Arabic. Thank you very much. تحية طيبة. الأخوة الكرام القائمين على المؤتمر. نتحدث اليوم عن موضوع في غاية الأهمية لبلادنا وشعبنا وفي ظل التوجهات للنهضة الوطنية العمرانية والتي تدعم وفي ظل ما نعاني من مشاكل اقتصادية وبيئة اجتماعية تعيق عجلة التطور. أما يجعلنا نرى أن الحل الأمثل وهو من خلال دعم الاستثمار والتوجه لإنشاء مدن ذكية للاعتماد عليها في التوسعات العمرانية والتي بدورها ستقدم الخدمات والحلول المناسبة لأغلب المشاكل باستخدام التكنولوجيا والطاقة المتجددة والحضارية بما ينسجم مع احتياجات الأجيال القادمة والحاضرة. حيث لا ننسى زيارة السيد رئيس مجلس الوزراء العراقي إلى أوروبا بفتح آفاق التعاون المشترك مع الدول الأوروبية، وهذه رسالة اطمئنان. هناك موضوع جاد باستخدام الدول الأوروبية أو الشركات الأوروبية للتعاقد معهم في العراق، وهذه بادرة خير تعتبر. باسم العراق واسم المجلس الأعلى للاقتصاد العربي الأفريقي واسم المجلس الوطني للأعمال العراقي واسم المجلس الأعمال العراقي الوطني، ندعو كافة الدول الأوروبية ذات الاهتمام للدخول إلى السوق العراقي ولإنشاء مدن سلام ذكية، وخصوصا في ظل التوجه الحكومي لدعم الاستثمارات في القوانين والتعليمات وقانون رقم 13 لسنة 2006، والتي بدورها تدعم الاستثمار وتشجع دخول المستثمرين إلى العراق. كما يجب أن نستثمر الإقبال والفعاليات الخليجية الذي حضرت في داخل العراق في المدينة الرياضية في البصرة، جاءت نتيجة الأمن والاستقرار الذي وصل إليه العراق. دعونا نتعاون جميعا ونبدأ في التجربة في العراق في المدن الذكية لتعزيز البناء والإعمار، وهذا يجعلنا جميعا نسعي إلى التطور في البلدان. ولا ننسى دور القوات الأمنية في العراق بكافة أصنافها بتحقيق الأمن في العراق، ودور العشائر العراقية كذلك. كما يوصل المجلس الأعلى للاقتصاد العربي الأفريقي والتعاون مع شركة السلام والأمم المتحدة لتحقيق الأهداف المنشودة الذي نص عليها من الأمم المتحدة، وندعو من الله جميعا أن يمن عليكم وعلى جميع العالم أجمع بالأمن والاستقرار. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أخوكم الشيخ صدام العطواني أحد شيوخ العراق. Thank you very much.
شكرا شيخ صدام. ممكن تقول كلمة بالإنجليزية يفهموك شوية؟ لا صعب عليك.
الجراماتيك فيه مشكلة شوية.
أوكي.
فممكن تصير عندنا.
شكرا. خليك معي. خليك معي.
تدريع التكريم.
أوكي.
خليك
معي. أوكي. Now I would like to invite Mr. John Mavrak, Chairman of Peace City World, and Dr. Riyad Thukabri, President of Peace City World, as well as Sheikh Saddam Atwani. Your gift is there. Yes, okay? Our friends from Iraq are offering a gift to Peace City World. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sheikh Saddam Atwani. Thank you very much, Chairman John Mavrak. Thank you very much, dear panelists. Thank you. Thank you, dear attendees. We suggest that we take 20 minutes break. We have a coffee break where we enjoyed it yesterday. So see you in 20 minutes. Thank you.